It's another win for Aston Villa here at the Tottenham Spurs Stadium. They progressed to the fourth round of the FA Cup after beating Thomas Frank's side for the second time this campaign. And really, it was very comfortable for Villa in the first half. The second half, Spurs were always going to show a bit. They showed nothing really in that first period. Very comfortable to say for Villa, and they got 2 goals ahead. Buendia and Morgan Rogers on the score sheet for Villa. Buendia scoring in the 22nd minute, and then it was Rogers in the first half. Additional time to extend that lead. Terrible defending from a Tottenham point of view for that second goal, but you have to credit Daniel Marlon for both goals. Marlon showing good physicality, another side of his game really today, I think, Marlon, for both goals. And full credit to Buendia, who loves scoring here, and Rogers as well. Rogers has scored more goals against Tottenham than any other team in his career in all competitions. So Villa now in the fourth round. The third round used to be at the end of the competition for Villa for 7 years running, was it? But the last 3 seasons now, Villa under Emery, Borough. Last season was West Ham that they beat, and then this season Tottenham. Of course, Villa beaten Tottenham a lot in recent years, and they of course knocked them out of the FA Cup last season as well. So I think they are now the first team since United in, I think it's 07 to 08, 08, 09 to beat Spurs in successive FA Cup ties. Beg your pardon. So yeah, a job well done for Villa. They come under a little bit of pressure in that second half. It's a fair amount of pressure, to be fair, in that second period, but were full value for the win. Flashpoint at the end. João Palhinha, who just getting into it straight away, is a nuisance, isn't he? God, he can't make a nice tackle. He has to leave something on his opponents, and the first tackle that he makes on Kamara, that's injured Kamara, and that's the blot on tonight for Villa. From a Villa point of view, and Emery after the match saying that he'll have obviously Kamara will be looked at tomorrow, doesn't know. He says that Villa will have to be patient on that one, but hopes it's not a big injury. Hopefully it's something smaller rather than bigger. That would be a big blow for Villa to miss Kamara for any sort of period of time. But Boubacar come in today, actually to play alongside Kamara, and played well I think in the first half. But in the second half, a couple of moments where I guess his inexperience showed. Obviously knocked off the ball against Kola Moani, and Kola Moani goes forward and knocks the ball to Odeber scores. But back to Palhinha, can't believe he got away with it nearly. He always gets away with a lot, doesn't he, Palhinha? I can't book him, but how he's still on the pitch today, not totally sure. Because even after the game, he's trying his best to get sent off and doesn't, mouthing off to Villa staff as he goes down the tunnel. And before that, scoring it to Ollie Watkins, possibly the Villa players, I don't know, but that's what I saw. Watkins goes and celebrates winning a football match in front of his own fans. Palhinha didn't like it though, and Watkins is a little bit. I was provoking him a little bit, but come on, this is professional football when stakes are high. There's rushes of blood, but often that's Palhinha's own making. Do you know what I mean? That game shouldn't have had any needle in it really. Those Spurs players don't know why they're playing for Thomas Frank, to be honest, especially in the first half. But it's Palhinha that tries to bring that. I suppose that's his job, to be nasty in the middle of the park. And I think everyone, or most teams, would want a player like that in their team. But at the same time, it can go over the top, and I think it did today. Kamara's injured, which happens, but just not ideal to come up against him today. I think Villa have got through, but not unscathed. They are, as I say, going to be checking Kamara on Sunday. As I say, in the second half, Villa did come under some pressure, but that's to be expected in any away match. Look at Crystal Palace going out to Macclesfield. It has to be competitive at some point. In that first half, it really wasn't. I think Villa was so comfortable. I've been to this stadium a few times now and seen quite a few Villa wins. None of them have been as comfortable as that first half. And to be fair, in 90 minutes either, Villa, it's not like it was an absolute onslaught. Marco Bizot's made one decent save from Xavi Simons. When Morgan Rogers, and my only sort of criticism of Rogers today was that I think there was a moment where he, and probably his teammates as well, did show a little bit of they relaxed a bit too much. And Emery said a lot that we've relaxed in some games, and he didn't say it after today, but I'm sure it's something that he would have said otherwise. I mean, there was a moment I think Rogers just tried to flick the ball away out the box, and it's like, don't do that. You're always going to come under some sort of pressure, and when Villa did, they didn't really cope with it too well before conceding. I must say in the last 10 minutes or so, Villa managed the game well then, and maybe should have got that third goal when they're nearly knocking it over the line. Pedro Porro clearing the ball off him. I'm going through the game pretty scattergun because it's late and I've got to get home on the last train back to Birmingham. So yeah, that was my only sort of criticism of Morgan Rogers today. He scores again, and we know he's a top player, so I'm not going to kind of get into that too much, but overall still a very strong display from him. Marlon, I thought was, he had a really strong performance today, Marlon, and was not necessarily clinical in terms of scoring goals, but clinical in the moments where Villa needed him to be precise with his passing or to hold up the ball well and find that pass to Buendia. That was a lovely first goal, wasn't it, from Villa, if I remember it rightly. Constant Tielemans progression, no surprise there. And then John McGinn looking forward as well, playing the ball to Marlon kind of on the shoulder, doesn't turn away from goal, goes forward and then finds Buendia with a lovely run and a fantastic finish as well from Emery. So yeah, Villa 1-0 up, and after that again comfortable. Rodgers' goal, that can't happen if you're a Tottenham fan or a Tottenham player, but Rodgers is still taking that chance well. Vicario, I do think he's a poor keeper. I said it after Rodgers scored a lovely goal against him earlier this season. I'm not saying he should have scored that goal against Rodgers, but Vicario tried to assist Buendia later in the game, didn't he? Buendia, I think, hastily taking a shot there when probably could have taken a touch, but came at him quickly, should we say. So he just tried to drill it, didn't come off. So Villa now in the fourth round of the Cup, and that was the objective today. I think, with so much going on this campaign for Villa, it's easy to overlook this competition, but with a nice home tie in the fourth round, all of a sudden your eyes start to wander towards, well, look what happened last season. Villa had a few home games in a row. I remember that Cardiff game at home. That was the first time I sort of, this sounds bad, but paid attention, I suppose. Champions League last season, this year Europa League, and Villa were going strong in that competition as well. But obviously this is a big opportunity for Villa, and Emery saying after the game that we have a responsibility to treat the competition in the correct way, and Villa did that today, absolutely, in their team selection as well. 6 changes, but a very strong team nonetheless. 9,000 Villa fans here. That was solid to behold. Really good noise from the fact. I mean, as you'd expect, there'd be good noise if there was 1,000 there, but 9,000. Love that. But just quickly back to what I was saying then about Cardiff at home last season. That for me was the first time where I really kind of stood up and paid notice, because then of course what are you one? If you win that match, which Villa did, you're then one game away from Wembley, and it was Preston away. That was a great afternoon in a Deepdale. The Claret and Blue balloons, the whole of that away stand behind the goal packed out. You want that again this season, and if Villa can get their way to that position again, then you'd back them to go far. But it just seems to be that they always pick up these draws against sides. Last season it was West Ham, and it was Tottenham. Season before that you got Chelsea. Borough away weren't easy. So a nice home draw would be, or any home draw to be honest, would be a big boost for Villa. But yeah, gonna head back home now because I don't want to miss my train. My final summaries are, as I say, it's a blow to miss Kamara for any period of time. If that's the case, we'll see on what the evaluations are from his injury after tomorrow. Villa, of course, go to Everton next, midweek off, which is useful, I think. Villa, of course, are still without Onana for the next 2-3 weeks. Barkley for the next 2-3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, but Emery hopeful that maybe it can be on the more positive side of that. But I think to get Onana back would be really useful. I don't know if he'll be able to come back for that Newcastle game, because Villa have got Everton, and then it's Fenerbahce away, then it's Newcastle, then it's Salzburg, then it's Brentford. That's a quick turnaround in all of those games. So Villa will need a squad for that, and if Kamara is missing in those matches, that won't be ideal. But if Villa are stacked anywhere, it's a midfield. And of course they are looking at opportunities in the market as well. So will that midfield area be bolstered even further? Let's see. And then other areas of the pitch as well. So those games take you into the back end of January, don't they? So what are we? I don't know. It's 10th January today. So yeah, not a whole lot. We're nearly midway through the month, and Villa's business so far has been Alisson, and of course a young striker will be joining as well, Ryan Maggio. But aside from that, no real first team additions yet. Alisson, of course, didn't make the squad today, which is a bit of a shame. I wanted to see him. I was really looking forward to that. But Emery did say in his presser, to be fair, yesterday, he hopes he'll be able to play. But he has been dealing with a bit of an injury, so they would check him after the training. Clearly wasn't quite ready, so they didn't want to take him, which is a shame, because I don't know how many opportunities he's going to get to play actual football rather than training before the end of the window. So we'll see what happens with Alisson moving forward. But Emery, I'm sure his judgment in training alone will probably be enough to be an accurate sort of prediction of what could he do for Villa this season or not. On Grant, let's see. So yeah, a bit of a shorter walk and talk today. That's not because it's the FA Cup, by the way. If anyone has a bit of a go, it's because it's late. I need to go home. So we'll catch up again, Claret and Blue, Q&A, I believe, on Monday. I think that's probably the order of play ahead of Villa's match. Well, there'll probably be more videos, or there will be more videos before the Everton game. That, of course, is the next match for Villa to play.